And during a certain portion of the dream, again, dreams typically do not make sense. I don't know why. Maybe my subconscious was trying to tell me something, but like there was a certain point in the dream where if you were given a shirt and it had a symbol on it, that meant you were gay, and if you were gay, you would be enslaved. I said, oh, sorry to the LGBTQIA plus community, like, bitch, if you're gay, like, sorry, you gotta be enslaved. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the YAP EAT REPEAT podcast. My name is Adele. I'm your favorite social media girly who loves makeup, and this is the YAP EAT REPEAT podcast, a place where intellectual baddies can come together and have a gay old time. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to today's episode. So I really am like super proud of how far I've come with this podcast. Honestly, we've only had like about 10 episodes, but y'all, this is a lot for me. Okay, this is a lot for me considering that I'm usually not a very consistent person, but I'm super happy that I've been able to like really push through on this fucking podcast, because even though it's not a big deal yet, to me it is a big deal. To me it is a big deal because this is our 10th episode. Oh my god. Guys, y'all remember when I started back in October? Like, so much time has passed since I did that episode, and I'm just in a good ass fucking mood, bitch. Like, I'm a good. Sorry, I got interrupted by a call from my man. If y'all are seeing my phone over here, I'm literally just recording the audio. But guys, this is our 10th episode. Like, what the fuck? Literally, YAP EAT REPEAT has come pretty far in my opinion, considering the fact that I'm usually never consistent with posting on any platform, period. So I'm really happy that I'm back on the horse. But I definitely wanted to check in with y'all. Today's episode, I really wanted to talk about a couple things. Galentines, as well as like, what did I really want to talk about? Honestly, I really wanted to talk about Valentine's Day. So I know that we just recently had and also like how expensive shit is. Like, let's also talk about that too. But I think I'm gonna make that as like the last part of the episode. But today's episode, I really wanted to talk about Valentine's Day and the importance of female friendships and the roles that women have played in my life. I know Women's History Month is literally right after this month, and honestly, y'all, like, I am such a girl's girl. Like, when I think about having sons potentially, I get a little bit scared. Okay, I get a little bit scared because I grew up with all sisters and mostly women and like female cousins in my entire family. The prospect of having to raise a son low-key scares me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, how the fuck do I do this? Like, I get a little bit scared, honestly, because I feel I'm just so not well versed in that aspect of life. But obviously I welcome the challenge. I welcome the opportunity. Like, of course, like, yes, I would love to have girls and I would just love to have children, period. But like, you know, I would just, point blank period, I would be blessed to have kids, period. All of that to say, I am just so thankful that I grew up in a family of mostly women, because I feel like that honestly influenced my sense of self and who I gravitate towards. Like, I've always had predominantly female friend groups. I honestly would like to keep it that way. Like, I honestly would like to keep it that way because I'm okay with not having guy friends. Like, it's really cool if I have guy friends, but I just haven't had any luck, okay, in that department. I have one, maybe like a small handful of guy friends who I can really like fucks heavy with, because honestly, y'all, it is a process, okay? Like, not to center this entire podcast around men, but truly what frustrates me about guy friends is like shit just gets weird. Okay, shit just gets weird. And a lot of times with like me, you know, I'm a baddie. Like, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm a baddie. Okay, I'm a baddie. And sometimes guys become friends with me because they have ulterior motives, which honestly just like makes me not trust having guy friends, because it's like, what do you have hidden up under your sleeve? Like, do you want to get with me? Are you only my friend because you think that ultimately would lead to a relationship? relationship. I've had that happen in the past. Like I remember, and again, I've been off the street since like 15, 16, so literally like it's been a hot minute. But I remember in high school there was this guy who had a crush on me, and we're cool now. Like we're cool now. I don't really talk to him anymore, but he had a crush on me, and I could tell it was starting to happen. Like I think sometimes it is hard for men to understand that men and women can have platonic relationships, simply because I feel like a lot of men are not used to treating other women with respect and not viewing them as an object. Like low-key though, not to be that person, but I feel like men aren't used to treating women with respect unless they think that they're attractive. Like, and I feel the patriarchy and misogynistic standards really, I guess, indoctrinate men into thinking that women are objects, hence why it's really hard for us to have platonic friendships. But I'm really glad that I have the male friendships that I do have, because it shows that there is hope in this world. Like, you know, like all of those friendships I've just had such an amazing time with, because again, like we really treat each other with respect, and it's just a true friendship, and I've really appreciated that. But I honestly do not care to be friends with men, because like I honestly have so much fun being friends with women, period. I feel like, and again, the reason why I bring this conversation up is because literally I have a whole little galentine celebration with my girls this weekend. We're about to be so turned. Everybody is 21. Okay, I am the oldest person in my friend group. I'm like low-key the Samantha of the entire friend group. When we all met, because we all met in college, we were different ages, right? I was the oldest. Like by the time that we all met and formulated our friend group, I was 21 going on 22, and they were all like in their late teens, early 20s. And I know it might sound a little bit weird, but honestly it was really the pandemic. Okay, in pandemic years I'm like 22. Okay, in pandemic years I'm 22. And listen, I'm gonna be so real. In middle school I was 100% a pick-me, and I think we are all, especially women who grew up in a patriarchal society. Guys, look at my nails. Thank you. Like, I just wanted to show everybody my nails super quick. But like, truly, if you are raised in a patriarchal society, which is a lot of societies in today's world, you will most likely fall victim to that. And if you don't, kudos to you. But I remember in high school, and I feel like this is because I grew up as a very girly girl, like a very feminine girl, that I grew up thinking that being feminine wasn't desirable. And in order for me to be desired by the guys that I wanted to be liked by, I really had to give up certain parts of myself, which is the myth that I feel like a lot of people sold to us, especially young, impressionable girls in the mid to late 2000s, borderline early to mid 2010s. Like, there were so many movies, lots of like propaganda being like, oh well, if you like makeup and if you like to dress nice and if you like to do this and do that, then you're fake, you're not a real woman, like you're trying too hard. Guys like it when girls can get down and eat food and play video games, blah blah blah. And as someone who was the complete antithesis of all of that, in middle school, I felt like I had to go through this absolute change. I remember when I was like, chasing after guys, I'd be like, oh yeah, like I like to play soccer. Guys, like this is literally a sign from the universe that I could not even be a pick-me if I tried, or even like a guy's girl, even if I tried. I remember I think it was my eighth grade year, I literally twisted my ankle because I was trying to play soccer to impress this guy. Like, bitch, just sit down. Like, obviously it's not working, so stop. Okay, so stop. Like, babes, you're going to find somebody who appreciates you for all that you are. You don't even have to change yourself. Like, bitch, the universe was really trying to tell me to shut the fuck up and sit down, and I just wasn't having it. Like, oh my god, literally. And that same guy, he like literally traumatized me for that entire year. Like, before I met my man, I was involved in this like weird situationship in 8th grade. Okay, don't even judge me. Okay, I was 14. Basically, like, we were in a little situationship for the summer, and I honestly have not thought about that man since, like, genuinely thought about that man since like 2015, which was almost 10 years ago. Oh my god, guys, literally I still think that it's 2016. Like, when somebody says it's 2012, I'm like, oh, that was 4 years ago, and then I think, really let it sit in my body. Oh, that was literally like almost 10 years ago. That was a decade. I said, oh, like, girl, bring out the retinol, bitch. Like, I forget that I'm getting older, right? Regardless, I haven't thought about that man since 2015. Tell me why he's showing up in my TikTok views. I said, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here, bitch? What are you doing here? That shit was so fucking weird. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, like, that man did not change his profile pic. He has the same username, follows the same bitch he used to fuck with in middle school. I mean, I'll call her a bitch because honestly she's a baddie, but like, following the same girl that he used to follow back in middle school, and he's over here commenting on my motherfucking TikToks, being in my views, like commenting purple hearts. Like, bitch, stay away. I had to block his ass so quick because I'm like, why are you trying to come back into my life after all this time? Like, what is the purpose of all this? Literally a fucking demon from hell. Regardless, okay, of me twisting my ankle after playing soccer trying to impress a man was truly the universe's sign to tell me, like, just be your fucking self. Be your fucking self. I'm telling y'all right now, I used to be so brainwashed into thinking that if I acted more like a man, men would like me, which is absolutely insane. Also, like, low-key, that rhetoric is a little bit gay too. Like, it's a little bit gay, because what do you mean I have to act like a man in order for a man to like me? Like, okay, Brokeback Mountain, like, I can't quit loving you. Like, oh my god, man, like, what the fuck? What do you mean I have to act like a man in order for a man to like me? But truly, I am so thankful for the female friendships that I have in my life, because I feel like being surrounded by that energy and being supported by it makes you so proud to be a woman. Like, sometimes I get emotional about that stuff because I'm like, damn, I really love being a girl. There is no other way that I would have it, simply because I feel like when you're surrounded by that energy and you see other women killing it, it's like, damn, bitch, we really are that bitch. Like, we really are that bitch. Like, I am all about the sisterhood. Low-key, when I'm drunk, I'm like, oh my god, I'm just so happy to be a girl, because there is nothing like going out to the club and seeing other women be beautiful and just being women period, and being like, oh my god, girl, I love your outfit. Like, that is really what the patriarchy has taken from us, and what we as women could be capable of if we continue to decenter men. Like, do you know how liberating it feels to really decenter men? I am still actively working on that. I feel like, obviously, when you live in a patriarchal society, like, a lot of that is ingrained in your mind. But truly, like, when you start to actively work to decenter men in your life and just stop giving a fuck about what they want, you start to realize that life is a lot more liberating. I'm still actively working on that. I feel like a huge part of why it's kind of hard for me to let go of it completely is because I still struggle with body dysmorphia, and body dysmorphia is in and of itself very much linked to white supremacy and misogyny. Let me see what my man said to me while we're talking about decentering men. I just love my man so much. Like, hold up, let me see. Oh, period. Oh, why is he telling me I hope you propose soon? Bitch, like, I'm not getting down on a midi. Okay, like, who do I look like to you? Fucking Boys to Men? Like, I'm not gonna go down on bended knee. The fuck? Because it's just not gonna happen. I'm so inspired by all the women in my life, because quite frankly, like, even growing up in a predominantly female household like I had, and again, I'm like, I don't want to say female in a derogatory way, and I do apologize if it is coming if it is coming off that way, it's just my inclination to it. But growing up around mostly women, like, I still see how the patriarchy affects us, because my mom, low-key, is that kind of way, or sometimes she like tends to baby my dad. Mind you, my dad is like a whole grown-ass man who pays taxes, like has a decent credit score, like he can do a lot of shit. Okay, you just have to give men the chance and stop fucking holding their hand. Okay, because listen, I understand that my daddy pays a lot of bills, like he holds a lot of shit down over here in the house, but you mean to tell me this man can't wash dishes? You mean to tell me this man can't wash dishes? AK. Like, that's the type of shit that I used to grow up with that, like, honestly makes me want to decenter men so much, because women, I think, from a very young age are taught to center the feelings and the thoughts and the perception of men from such a young age. Like, oh, if I wear this, what will a man think of me? And it's shit like that, where a grown-ass man who has several degrees can't even wash dishes. It's not as bad as I'm portraying it. Like, I hope y'all are like, oh my god, Adelle's dad is terrible. My dad is amazing, but like, that shit pisses me off, okay? But regardless, it's shit like that that really makes me want to decenter men from my life and focus on strengthening my female friendships. I am just super grateful that I grew up with very inspiring women from all fronts. One thing that I find very inspiring about my mom is she really helped raise me and my sisters, and to be able to make that sacrifice in your career to raise 3 daughters, I think is commendable. You know, and not to say that like a woman's life is defined by sacrifice and suffering and giving your life to your children, but I do think it's very honorable to take a part of your life and dedicate it to building up the life of others. Because truly, had my mom not taken that time out for me and my sisters to develop our skills and do after school activities, do swimming, piano, church school, dance, all of those kinds of things, I don't think that me and my sisters would be the women and the people that we are today. My friends that I've had in high school, in high school and in college, all are so inspiring. Like, the people that I work with to this day, I find incredibly inspiring, and I just think we need to have more women in positions of power, okay? Because clearly Big Don over here in the fucking Oval Office doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So all of that to say, Cammy, you should have been president, okay? Cammy, Big Sister General. I know she is enjoying her time off of the fucking White House, but like, it should have been her, okay? It should have been her. This Galentine's Day that is coming up, I'm like, oh my god, life is worth living. Like, life is really worth living, guys, when you're surrounded by your girls. Y'all can have a gay old time. Like, in the vein and thread of how far I've come, I am super proud of how far I've come as a feminist, truly, because I think 12-year-old Adele would be very surprised, not super surprised, but just like in awe of how far I have come, because 12-year-old Adele was very, like, I think male-centric, male validation-centric, as many 12-year-olds are. Like, girl, I was only 12, okay? Like, my prefrontal cortex wasn't even developed yet. But again, I just really wanted to appreciate a lot of the female friendships that I have in my life, because I feel like Valentine's Day, of course, is all about Valentine's Day. I think there is this really big emphasis on romantic relationships. And I talked about this in my previous podcast, but I also think that we need to really think about the kind of friendships that we want to build for ourselves. like, a question that I really want to ask to the audience is, what does your dream friendship look like? I actually saw this TikTok of like somebody saying that your life isn't made up of highlight reels, and that your life isn't all about the highs, and that your dream life should reflect what does a regular dream Tuesday look like for you. Like, what does a dream life look for you in which you go to sleep content with your life? And I kind of wanted to take that same concept of, what does a dream friendship look like for you? I know for me personally, I really want to have a friendship that mirrors the romantic relationship that I have with my man right now, because truly, like, I also do want to have friendships where, you know, we develop that emotional intimacy and we talk about building a life together. Because truly, you know, even though it isn't, you know, a sexual relationship, though it might be for some of y'all, okay? Though it might be for some of y'all, friendships can also be romantic in a platonic way, right? And I know that I personally struggled with building friendships because I also struggle with intimacy as well and vulnerability. But ultimately, like, I do want to get to a point with my friendships where, like, we genuinely start building a life together and building a community. Because I think if there's anything that this presidency has taught us, is we cannot trust major organizations. I mean, fucking Target is rolling back its DEI initiatives. Fucking Donald Trump is in office, which is a shit show in and of itself. But these next 4 years, if anything, really emphasize to us as Americans the importance of building and investing into your community, and that also includes your friendships. I talked about this briefly on our previous podcast, and what I really wanted to say is, like, we gotta stop canceling on people, okay? Like, if you truly cannot commit to something, it is okay to say that you can't commit to something. If you can't go because you're tired, babes, you gotta drink a Celsius, okay? You gotta take a fucking nap, because it is important to show up for people, okay? We gotta stop canceling on people in 2025. I'm telling y'all right now, even when I was sick, okay, coughing my ass off, I wanted to make sure that I showed up for an event that I signed up for with my friend, okay? Because that is important. Like, as much as I wanted to cancel because I wasn't feeling that great physically, like, I could still get up and I could still show up, and we were only there for, like, at most an hour 30. Like, y'all mean to tell me that in the midst of y'all doom scrolling, you can dedicate an hour and 30 minutes to your friends? Like, it is okay. Some of y'all really need to stop weaponizing therapy language and call a spade a spade. You're a flake, okay? And I'm saying that even to myself. Like, I think we all need to really sit down and realize that in order to actually build community, like, we need to do the fucking work. And honestly, if we get out of our own heads, I think we will all collectively come to the realization that being outside and hanging out with your friends isn't as bad as your anxiety makes it out to be. You know what I mean? And this is coming from somebody who is like a homebody down. Okay, I love to spend time at home just as much as the next person. But I also acknowledge that in order for me to build the community that I want, you do have to put in the work, and having friends to an extent does inconvenience your life, but you have to really weigh the pros and cons. Like, if I don't show up for this person, how will it affect our relationship in the long run? You know what I mean? Like, I wish that I could articulate it a little bit better, but I think that's what I really want to allude to. Now, speaking of America, I know we're like taking a hard left. I really wanted to commend Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance that he did a few days ago. Now listen, I didn't even watch the Super Bowl because I'm not like a huge football fan, period. I like to just wait until the actual recording comes out so I can watch it. But truly, the symbolism is... it was just a masterpiece in and of itself. Maybe I'll do a different podcast on it. But since 2020, I've always had an issue, and even maybe as like a little kid too, but I've always had an issue with the word and the term American, because I just personally feel like I don't really fit into that image of what it is to be American. Like, if y'all were to ask me right now, like, how do I identify? I identify as a Filipino New Yorker. Like, I am a New Yorker more than I am an American, okay? Like, there's a lot of overlap with being a New Yorker and being an American, but they're not the same, okay? They're not the same. Like, New York supremacy till I die. Literally came out the womb with my Air Force Ones. But literally, I think it's just so interesting to see how artists today are redefining what it is to be American and reshaping it so that it is more inclusive and really touches on the unpaid labor in which this country was built on top of. And more specifically, just so that we're not being vague, the labor and the work of enslaved Black people. Especially because it's Black History Month, like, bitch, like, let's just call a fucking spade a spade, bitch. Like, let's just call a fucking spade a spade. It's interesting to see, and honestly, if we continue at this rate, guys, if we continue at this rate right now, I'm telling y'all right now, okay, shit's gonna be looking real good. But truly, shit's gonna look up, okay? Shit's gonna look up. We are currently in the, not the age of Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius. We're currently in Pluto and Aquarius. So shit's gonna go down. The revolution is going to be televised. It's gonna be a little bit scary, but I need y'all to hang on. Okay, I need y'all to hang on. I feel like with Aquarius's and Aquarian energy, there is this tendency to be scared because it's a very like otherworldly, alien-like, but it's because we see something that you don't. We see something that you don't. Okay, so like, y'all just gotta trust. Y'all gotta trust. And as someone who has a lot of why the fuck am I saying it like that? As someone who has a lot of Aquarius in her first house, like, that means it's very hyper present in my identity. I know of what it's like to introduce something new, introduce something revolutionary to tradition, and for people to be scared, for people to not be trusting, okay? What I need us to do is just trust in the discomfort, and know that ultimately this discomfort will lead to something much greater. And I say that because a lot of political discussions will cause you to be uncomfortable. It will. And I think that's why some people don't really want to talk about political issues, because it really causes you to think about like the shit that's going on in this world, and why I feel like people just might be apprehensive to talk about these kinds of things. But we just gotta sit, okay? We gotta sit. And I have a feeling that in the next few years, the term American and Americana is gonna come back in a very interesting, innovative, almost subversive kind of way. Thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, definitely wanted to talk about how expensive shit is, because why the fuck did I just spend $80 at the fucking grocery? I guess I'm not gonna be eating out for the next 2 weeks, because hey, what the fuck? Like, why? Mind you, I don't even think I bought that much. Shit is just expensive, okay? Like, why are mozzarella sticks, frozen mozzarella sticks, 2 packs, $24? I did get them for the galentine, so like, yes, it is going towards something worthy. Like, I am okay with shelling out money for my friend group because they have supported me so much in the past. Like, bitch, it's not even a fucking question. I spend money because I just function from an abundance mindset. Like, bitch, that's just how the fucking economy works, okay? If I spend money, it's gonna come back to me. Okay, like you can't walk through life going with a scarcity mindset. But anyways, maybe I have a spending problem. Regardless, shit is expensive. It's expensive. I was really looking at the price of eggs. I'm like, damn, nobody is buying these eggs. I literally remember 2019, even up until 2023, I was like, buy eggs, buy eggs, buy eggs, because bitch, why is this shit pisses me off. Okay, but anyways, eggs from 2019 to 2023, and this is because those were the years that I was really on my own and buying my own food and like looking at the prices. Eggs were not that expensive. Okay, I could get a decent 12 dozen eggs for under maybe like $9, maybe $6-7 for 12 eggs, which honestly isn't that bad. Okay, honestly isn't even that bad. Maybe a little bit excessive, but still, regardless, 2 dozen eggs for $20, I think this shit is fucking crazy. Okay, and I hope that the people who voted for Trump, y'all are really reaping the benefits. Okay, reaping the fucking benefits. Swear to God. Like, honestly, the jokes fucking write themselves. Really, they really do write themselves. Because tell me why I saw this TikTok of this woman who was like, Trump this and Trump that. Somebody's gotta teach a guy to flirt and gotta make girls. Like, I am just every day is a fucking fever dream. But truly, like, this woman on TikTok, she was like, oh my God, I can't believe like Trump is in office. Oh my God, yes, like inauguration was so tea. Tell me why her husband is an immigrant. Tell me why her husband is an immigrant with no papers. The jokes write themselves. I'm telling y'all right now, the jokes deadass write themselves. Like, I just feel like so many Trump supporters are just, they need to go to fucking therapy, because y'all are dead ass projecting right now and you don't even realize it. Like, I need one of those Simpson theories to like come through and really just be true, because y'all know the Simpsons, they tend to predict things that end up being true. Like, there was a prediction of Donald Trump in a casket. Go on to the YAP Eat Repeat section of the podcast. So what have I been yapping about? I have been yapping about I have been yapping about these weird ass fucking dreams. So I've had some really vivid ass dreams. I don't know if the full moon is tonight or a different time, but apparently it's a full moon in Leo. I've been having very vivid dreams. One of them being that I had this weird standoff with a demon, right? It was like several of us like trying to fight off this demon, and we were given several weapons, but they weren't working. So it looked like he was going to win. And basically, what happened was, if you didn't win against this demon, you would become enslaved. Like, it would be like a reverse Beauty and the Beast sort of situation, like where you would be turned into an inanimate object and you would be enslaved to this demon for the rest of your life. And during a certain portion of the dream, again, dreams typically do not make sense. I don't know why. Maybe my subconscious was trying to tell me something, but like, there was a certain point in the dream where if you were given a shirt and it had a symbol on it, that meant you were gay, and if you were gay, you would be enslaved. I said, oh, sorry to the LGBTQIA plus community, like, bitch, if you're gay, like, sorry, you gotta be enslaved. So I was given a shirt, and it said that I wasn't gay. I said, oh, like, guys, I think there was a mistake. I think there was a mistake. But I guess I wasn't enslaved in that dream, so period, I guess. That's what I've been yapping about. Like, I'm like, why the fuck am I having vivid ass dreams? There was another dream that I had where like somebody showed up who I really didn't want to show up. I woke up scared, okay? I woke up scared. I said, what are you doing here, bitch? Like, what are you doing? I said, why is this man in my dream? Like, ugh. I was annoyed. Okay, needless to say, obviously. What has been on repeat? Let me see. I low-key gotta check what I've been listening to. I feel like, hold up. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Okay. One song that's been on repeat for me is Pookie's Requiem by Sailor. It's been going off in the noggin. What have I been eating down lately? I actually haven't been eating. crazy. But yeah, I just want to get healthier, and I just want to feel comfortable and happy in my own body. And unfortunately, whether it's because of benevolent or malevolent reasons, I just don't feel very happy in the body that I am in right now. But we're rolling with the punches, okay? We're rolling with the punches. So that is the YAP Eat Repeat podcast for today. Thank you for coming to my little YAP session. Again, we are currently on YouTube and Spotify. I really try my best to upload every single week, but sometimes things get a little bit crazy. But I've been really good with being very consistent lately. Shout out to perseverance. Shout out to consistency. And yeah, that is today's episode, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Bye, y'all. Bye. Also, I fucking hate corporate America, but what's new? Bye, y'all.